How do you think you got to over 200,000 followers?
The internet is insane.
Did you have a feeling like a lot of creators do? I think they want to run before they can walk.
Every month you're like, okay, is this going anywhere? But then one day something switches. How many billions of people are on TikTok every day? They're all clients. That's all potential opportunities. It is a modern portfolio. You have to put your work out there.
How would you give your elevator pitch?
I honestly,
You as an artist then, what do you think is your secret ingredient? Welcome to the Mood Podcast, uncovering the art of conversation through the lens of photography and creativity, one frame at a time. I'm your host, Matt Jacob, and today I'm joined by a visual storyteller who blends the worlds of video and photography beautifully. His name is Cam Stables, and Cam's journey started in the fast-paced world of television and theatre, where he honed his skills as a director, camera operator, and video editor. But it was his transition into photography that really solidified a reputation as a true pro of dynamic storytelling. His work, known for its adventurous spirit and cinematic quality, has led to collaborations with industry giants such as Canon and Mercedes-Benz. In my conversation with him, we dive into his unique approach to image making, the crossover between filmmaking and photography, and the realities of monetizing creativity in today's landscape. We also explore how AI is changing the industry, the role of mentorship in social media-driven worlds, and whether great photography can really exist without understanding the whys behind it. So now I bring you Cam Stables. Cam Stables.
how's it going?
How you doing, mate?
Good.
Welcome to the Mood Podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Where have you just been and where are you going?
Where am I going? I don't know, but I've basically past couple of weeks been shooting a bunch of projects on the go. Most recent one here in Bali in Indonesia with Contiki. We were shooting a big campaign, which is really cool. Flew us over to Bali to do photo and video work for the tour company. We went to a couple of places in Bali and then Komodo Islands, which is really cool. Wanted to go there for a long time. So yeah, no, really cool campaign. Like it's kind of living the dream a little bit. Like when I started this, I always wanted to just get paid to travel, take photos or videos. So when they rang me up, I was like, yep, let's do it. Didn't ask many questions. But yeah, that's been the past couple of weeks. Just finished yesterday. So good to be here.
Keeping the energy up.
Yeah, there's good coffee here. So yeah, that'll keep me going.
To give us an overview of your business model, essentially, like what do you do? But really tell us, why you do it. What are your background in terms of where that passion comes from?
I mean, ever since I was little, I've always loved storytelling, filmmaking, whatever, medium it was through. Like art was just always a big part of my life. I love telling stories. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to just get a camera out and make little videos on iMovie or whatever. But that's always been something I'm passionate about. When I finished school, I got offered a job as a camera operator, which was like a big opportunity. Did that for about 5 years. That was all like live studio stuff as well. But I did that for a while and then I kind of felt the creative, it was all indoors, like live television. So it wasn't particularly creative, really good, like I built a lot of really important skills, but it wasn't kind of after about 5 years, I felt like I just wanted to get outside. I started backpacking, I think I turned like 18 and, as you do, you find the travel bug. I loved traveling and I was like, I really want to combine both of these. Kind of aligned with COVID a little bit as well, where I was like, maybe I could put these two things together, right? So bought a camera, wanted to travel more, couldn't travel because of the pandemic. So I basically explored every corner of New Zealand I could with a camera, built those skills, just worked on it, found the love for it. As that grew, I kind of fell back into the filmmaking world and did more video stuff with just anything with a camera really. I fell in love with, and I've been doing that for probably freelance now about sort of 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And yeah, my goal at the start was just to find a way to travel, get paid to travel. I was like, that would be cool. But now it is like, well, how can I tell stories about this experience? As you'll probably know, or a lot of travelers, it's a really it is a really exciting thing, and trying to convey that, the stories of people around the world, the experience, all those things. I love to do that. I love to share that with people and hopefully inspire other people to do that themselves. And for me, it's through my art. So photography, videography, posting Instagram stories, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I do a lot more video storytelling now. Just that seems to be what's coming my way, which I enjoy. There's a lot more to it, a lot more skills that you have to put into practice when you're doing video work. Video editing, color grading, working with music, scripts, all those sorts of things, which I really enjoy. I love all those aspects of it. So it's really cool to build all those skills, but that's where I'm at. Who knows where I'll be in a year's time, but yeah.
Sounds like you're in a really exciting place right now, and
yeah,
almost in a transition, but you kind of got the foundation down. I mean, you obviously do. You talk about inspiring people. You do. Like your stuff is incredible, and you definitely inspire thousands and thousands of people around the world, if not millions. So.
It was, it kind of is a slow process. Like it took a while. I had to put a lot of work in and not see a lot of results for quite a bit of time. But
did you have a feeling like a lot of creators do? I think they want to run before they can walk. Certainly,
yeah, I'm glad I did now.
Yeah,
like I think it can be quite disheartening to put all these hours. You have to put hours in, you have to put money in, and you've got to love it. And to do all that and kind of just be sitting there like, oh, this doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. But then one day something switches. I don't know, you reach a point where you, gain a certain amount of skill that just something flips, and then you find that one client that then, it all kind of grows from there. And if you can kind of keep that ball rolling, I don't know, like I'm in a place now where it's, opportunities are coming more, which is cool because I, put all those years of work in, and now it's paying off, but I'm glad I did it then for the passion of it. Because now it's like, I feel like I put in those hours,
When you say put in the hours and the money, what do you mean specifically? Are you talking like social media and equipment, or are you talking
all
like
of
courses and
all of it? Like, whatever it is.
Someone asked me the other day, just think about how much money you've spent on courses over the last.
Yeah. Well, photography is just a expensive hobby in general.
Yeah.
Kind of say to people, I'm like, if you don't love this, good luck, because it's really expensive. But if you do love it, it doesn't matter. Just, it's a tool to help you express what you need to express. But yeah, money, travel, if you want to be a travel creator, it is really expensive, and you can't just expect to make money out of it straight away. You got to put a lot of that, time and money into going and experiencing those things, learning about the world, learning how to capture it, learning how to tell stories in a unique and important way, before you'll start getting client work and, it'll kind of start rewarding you. But yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Hard work essentially, and investment. People think about spending money, but it is actually investment in yourself, right? All of this is investment in yourself, as long as you're patient enough to put in those hours at the same time and just see where it goes.
Yeah. And it is frustrating. Like as a impatient person, like you kind of, every month you're like, okay, is this going anywhere?
Yeah.
But
when do I give up?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe some people give up. I don't know. That opportunity might be just around the corner, but if you just stick at it, and it will always come back to you. It will always reward you if you put in the hours.
Well, we talked off air about this before we came in the studio, about basically you say yes to everything, right? It's difficult for you to say no. I think that is a common problem with certainly travel photographers, filmmakers, because I feel like, they're self-employed for a start. You've got to say yes, put food on the table. You also don't know when the next paycheck is coming unless you've got retainers and you've got things lined up for a year, which most people don't. But also, and you quite rightly said, which I think is the most important thing, saying yes might open up more doors.
Yeah, it is tricky. It's like, it's really scary when something new comes around the corner that you maybe don't feel like you have those skills in. But recently, one of my goals has been to just like take that opportunity, because you always learn something from it, right? Like even if you're kind of comfortable in what you're doing, like you might gain a skill from, for instance, you might be a portrait photographer, but an opportunity comes around to work with sports cars or something like that. You might go, oh, that's not for me. But that will teach you a whole lot of, probably teach you a lot about what you do, you know, which will then help you later in the future. So every opportunity comes now, I just go, I've just got to do it. Like, even though this maybe doesn't fit what I want to be doing, it's all learning, it's all skills that will help with your product and what you offer.
So then how would you give your elevator pitch? You know, if someone says, oh, Cam, what do you do?
Oh, I don't really know. Like, I just take photos.
How would you pitch it to a client then? You tailor that pitch according to what you're pitching for, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I don't a lot. A lot of it comes to me, which is a nice place to be. Yeah, no, yeah. Like I'm lucky in the sense that I kind of put a lot of that into the brand what I put out there. For me, it's like, well, what videos you make, what photos you put online, on your website, all those sorts of things. That is my pitch deck, you know, like people then see that and go, oh, I want that. I put a lot of time into what goes out there, and I've found that it actually affects the work you get as well. I kind of got into a rut the last couple of years where sometimes I was working a lot on certain types of projects and it was money and it was paying the bills, but I found that the only work that was then coming in return was that style of photography. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be doing this, but if I keep doing it, that's all that's going to come. And so I had to put a lot of work into sort of shifting the brand to make sure that the right clients come my way and that I was getting the opportunities that I wanted to be getting.
When you say put your stuff out there, are you talking mostly social media?
Everywhere. Yeah. Social media, I think, is really important.
Where does most of your...
Probably social media. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a really good tool. Can be a really frustrating place as an artist because sometimes your work doesn't get seen. You know, you're putting a lot into it and you're not getting views or whatever. But for me, it's like that. It is a modern portfolio. Mm-hmm. You have to put your work out there. Like there's so many people looking at what you do. You can't not post your work online and then kind of complain that nothing's coming from it. That's where people are, right? You go on TikTok, how many billions of people are on TikTok every day?
Yep.
They're all clients. That's all potential opportunities, you know, and diversifying, you know, if you're going to work with Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, even if you don't like it, just get your work out there in those different spaces because someone will see it. And if you don't, then how do people know what you do, right?
I love it. Back in the day, right, before social media, people used to walk around with their portfolio, knock on doors, like actually knock on marketing agencies or travel agencies or whoever it might be. Can I work with you, right? It's the same thing.
It is, but that isn't
way more opportunity, way more exposure.
That isn't how it works anymore. And if you think it does, like it's shifted, whether you like it or not. You know, that is how it's shifted. And
my point is, it's a tool. It's today's tool that was yesterday's. You know,
and if you can learn to adapt with how that market shifts, then it's okay. But if you kind of put your foot down and go, well, no, this is, you know.
So tell us, how do we grow on as a filmmaker, as a photographer? How do we grow? It's probably one of the most difficult niches to grow in.
Thirst traps probably would be the smartest way about it. Thirst traps.
What are they?
Like, I don't know.
My social media manager's listening.
But yeah, I don't know. But how do you grow? I'm not really sure. It's a weird space. Like it changes all the time. But for me, it's a balance between being authentic and what you like, what your work is, and also understanding the audience that follows you and what they like to consume. You know, like it is, you do have an audience there. If you're growing something, they like certain things. Like how do you use that to grow, to build momentum, which will then push your work out to more people? It's tricky. I don't know. Like you asked me a year ago, it would be completely different to now, right? Like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I don't really put much out on YouTube, but same thing. Like, it's constantly shifting really. I'm not really sure. I don't have an answer, but for me, I just want to create work that I love. I put my heart and soul into it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, if you're creating stuff that's true to what you are, then eventually it will work, right? You know, and if it's good enough, I feel like I'm rambling. I don't know.
No, I think I'm just thinking more technically that we can offer people who, I mean, I'm doing different stuff all the time every month, and I think that's important. Is you talked about the different platforms, but putting in the work to understand that like you said, the algorithms change frequently, more frequently than ever before. Probably YouTube's no different to Instagram's, no different to TikTok, no different to X. Or X is X, but I think it's important to, if you're going to decide to embrace and understand the fact that social media can be a good marketing tool, can be a good, like you said, today's portfolio that you can market yourself through, then I think you've got to put the time in to understand the algorithms, right? Okay, well, am I going to waste all of my time if I make this stuff that I'm really proud of and that I believe in, but 5 people are going to see it, right? You still want to maximize that output if you can, without sacrificing your integrity, right? So how do you think you got to over 200,000 followers?
I honestly have no idea.
You got to help us.
Yeah,
here,
I don't know. The internet is insane. Like I just kept posting. There was a period for about 2 years where I would post every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And I would just always, that was my goal. If I didn't have something to post, I needed to go out, take more photos. In the process, I learned things, I grew, I traveled to new places, saw things, I would kind of go, okay, I've taken lots of photos in this. I need to push myself and try new stuff. When Reels and TikTok really took off, it was like, I think a lot of people went, oh, what is this? Like, I don't like it. But me as well, for a while, I was like, oh, I don't really do this. But then kind of got to a point where it was like, well, this is what is happening. So as someone who did a lot of video work as well, I'm like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Why am I not using this? I chose to kind of take a style that was my own of video work and not make it too short form in a sense. Like I just tried to keep like that, my style of cinematic, like work into my reels. And I would just, post honestly every couple of days. And I just did that consistently. And it was like kind of putting the train tracks in front of you as you were going. Like I was like, oh, I've got to go out and create some new stuff. And I just did that for ages. Now I'm a lot busier, so it's hard to maintain that. And in return, I think, maybe my growth isn't as fast as it was when I was doing that. But like I could say consistency is key, but it's also what that offers. Like if you are out there creating stuff all the time, you're just going to get better, right? So both of those things in conjunction.
Yeah, absolutely. You as an artist then, what do you think is your secret ingredient? Why do you think brands and companies who want to work with you, why do you think they want to work with you? What is it about Cam that?
I don't know. You need to ask them, I guess. I care a lot about this. Every piece of work that I do, I put all of my soul into it. Probably too much. Like I'll sit on a photo and edit it for just way too long. But like, I just want everything to be really, really great. I do kind of see other people's work as well and take inspiration, but also go, okay, well, that's really good. Why is that really good? How can I kind of improve and work on things like that? Just, I don't know. I'm a perfectionist. So I just work really, really hard to make sure every photo I take, every video I make is not only like the best it could be, but just the most authentic representation of what I can create. And I don't know what clients see, but they seem to like it so far. So
I think that's a really good answer, because I think a lot of beginners anyway think they've got to be the best technically that they can be, but actually brands and companies want to work with people that they like, that obviously they want they just want value for money, but they want a good human being that they know they're going to put everything into it, that's passionate about it, that's likable, has integrity, etc.
Yeah, and like you were talking before about doing jobs that maybe you don't want to and stuff. If you don't love that, that's going to reflect how you behave in that environment as well, so if you're doing what you love, which, is for me is this, I'm just having a great time when I'm shooting, like, whether the camera's out or not, like this is such a cool lifestyle to be in, going to a different place all the time. I'm really lucky that I get to, see a new part of the world every time I work on a shoot. And I love it. Like I'm really, really grateful for it. I don't take it for granted. And I try to always enjoy myself while I'm working, and in return, let that impact what I'm creating. Cause the love, I try to, how do I say it? Yeah. I want the love to come through and how I feel to come through what I'm putting out there.
Well, people must see it. Of course, otherwise they wouldn't work with you, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully.
Unless you're just the guy that says yes all the time. Tell us a little bit more. Let's dive into your background. I'm interested in your television and theatre background and directing, video making, creative storytelling, camera operator. Can you give us a bit more details about that?
I did a lot of theatre when I was younger. On stage, off stage.
What type of theatre?
Musical theatre, normal theatre. A lot of stage work, which taught me a lot about performance. It's live, with a theatre production, it runs from start to finish. You learn a lot about how to build a relationship with an audience, how things flow, how stories flow. That kind of taught me a lot. Working behind the scenes as well. I worked backstage. I directed a couple of productions.
Theatre productions.
Cool. Yeah. And I really loved it. I got too busy and it was hard to juggle that and my work. But then, same with working in the television industry. That was live television. You kind of create like a thick skin working in live TV. You just have to do it. I worked through a couple of emergency broadcasts as well, like natural disasters and things like that.
Wow.
We basically go on air for 24 hours sometimes. They walk into the studio, go like, oh, this volcano's erupted. You're not leaving this building for a whole day. And you sit in there and you just shoot for...
And you were shooting, or you were in front of the camera?
Sometimes, yeah. There'll be a camera studio full of 5 or 6 people sometimes. You'll rotate. They bring in food as you're shooting. So, yeah, and you just people will rotate out. And that was a really fun experience. Taught me, how to work in high pressure environments, But yeah, really cool. Learned a lot from, there are a lot of really seasoned camera operators in that industry that work, in the studios. I learned a lot from them as well. Lots of them really took me under their wing, taught me things about, taught me stuff about, obviously how to operate cameras, those technical skills, but working in, a live environment, right? Where you kind of can't make a mistake, or if you do, how do you adapt? How do you fix it really quickly? I've definitely carried a lot of that stuff into all of this because there is always those really high pressure, time crunch shoots that you're in. And if you just, it's very easy to let it overwhelm you and just, get flustered, but kind of, I don't know, I like it. I like the pressure a bit. I like it when everyone's stressed and chaotic. I kind of go into operation mode where I'm like, all right, let's do this, which I feel like I've gained from that.
It's a good apprenticeship in a way.
Yeah, it really was. Like, I learned a lot, but, what else did you ask me?
No, I think that's it. I think that's really important for some people to understand as well. Like, you can't just go and pick up a camera and then become a travel photographer, a travel filmmaker. You've got to learn the ropes.
Yeah, and
somehow.
Even outside of the camera world, like doing other stuff is really important as well. You can't just, speaking from someone who, sometimes just all I think about is this is my work, this is my passion. You need to do other things that build your character, teach you other aspects about life. All of this industry is, for us, it's about picking up a camera and shooting, but what the stories we're telling and what we're doing are about life and people. And if you don't understand those things, then that will affect what you're creating. And so, learning about people, developing hobbies, spending time with other creatives, spending time with other people, just learning, how people feel, how to portray that, how to capture that, all of those sorts of things. Making yourself feel different emotions as well, learning things about yourself. All of that will then come back. And so, I don't know. I think that's something I've right now need to spend more time is doing stuff outside of this.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, give me an example.
I like to draw, so picking up a pencil, drawing, stuff like that. I love movies. I feel like that's part of this world, but I just love watching movies movies. Yeah. But for me, that's a big thing. I love just watching lots and lots of movies and learning about, again, it still all kind of comes back to this, but I like the outdoors as well. So more and more recently, I've spent time I'll leave the camera at home, go hiking, whatever, go just find places in nature that kind of bring you down to earth a little bit. But just any of those things that will help you creatively, but are different,
Staying healthy in a way that isn't conducive to burnout.
That is really important. Yeah. You get burnt out pretty quick doing this stuff when you're working long hours. And
how do you manage it? You're a busy man, traveling a lot, long flights,
not
often
very
coming
well
from New Zealand.
I get burnout probably twice a year, pretty on the, like I kind of know when it's coming.
What does that feel like? What happens when you get burnout?
Just reach a point where you're like, I'm not good at this anymore. Just all that pressure builds up and you just kind of go, what am I doing? I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like what I'm making this isn't building, this isn't getting better. And it just all kind of goes, and I don't know, you need to take a break, and just stop, and then you'll find the rhythm again. But I don't know how to avoid it because I haven't avoided it. Like I still get it all the time. Creating for yourself, I guess, is really good. You work on too many commercial projects, you lose that self-expression. What you're not making what you want to be making, which happens all the time. Like I'm always working on commercial projects, which is part of my vision, but mostly it's someone else's vision or what someone else wants, right? And there's a little bit of it that isn't you, and so like taking time to go make something that isn't a true expression of what I feel, what I want to make. If I need to give myself time to do that more often, because it helps. And you make something that's really good and it was completely your vision. That's really cool and inspiring, and you kind of get that back. You're like, okay, maybe I do know what I'm doing, or maybe I do know how to take a picture or whatever. But that is giving enough time to do that is really important, I think. Yeah.
I think this kind of relates to a quote I took off your website. Your primary objective is to invoke emotions, develop connection, and educate audiences on the wider world around us through visual storytelling and powerful imagery. Sometimes it's easy for us to forget that advice for ourselves, right? Where it's like we also need to take that time for ourselves to check in with our emotions, develop connections with people that isn't with a camera in hand, right? And educate ourselves on, what are we doing? What's going on? We need that break.
Yeah, and it is like, it goes back to what I was saying before, like you learn how to, it's all fun and games, making pretty stuff and having those technical skills. But if you don't know how to invoke something in someone, make them cry, make them laugh, you're not going to be a very good storyteller, and you're not going to build that connection with an audience, which is what I always try to do. Like my most satisfying projects is, the ones where you make people cry, genuinely, not in a bad way. And like, if you can make them really emotional with what you're doing. Yeah. Terrible. Please give me my money back. No, but
how do you make people cry?
In life or just in my videos?
In the videos.
Yeah, in my videos. I don't know. Like, again, it's like building those connections with people, learning how people respond to certain things. People respond to words, faces, music, visuals sometimes, how that all comes together. It's kind of intricate, but I don't know. I just kind of will work at it. And you can kind of, especially making a video, you can start to feel when it's like, oh, this has a rhythm.
Okay.
And I can just sort of tell that this is going to start to affect people, and getting to know the clients as well. I did a video last year, where it was a really important story. The client had a personal history and they wanted that told. It was through a commercial video. But always at the forefront was like, how do I make them feel like understand the history of this person's story, and how does that then going to make them kind of feel sad, not sad, but like emotional.
Yep.
And it did. I kind of was there, and I honestly didn't have to do much because it was just a really important day. It was the woman. It's kind of a complicated project, but it was a video about a tour guide. Her family had worked in the area that we were making the video. So it was her mum's 90th birthday. She'd grown up there. Her dad had built a lot of the infrastructure of this place. And so it was about her reminiscing about her childhood, her family's legacy. And that was kind of where that was the story. And for me, my just whole goal was like, okay, well, how can I make them? I didn't really care about anyone else. I wanted them to just go, oh man, what a beautiful day. 90 is old as well. So I was like, really wanted this to be something special, like that they can remember her by as well. The personal connection, everything else, all the pretty visuals were just, that was like icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake, or cherry on top. You have a knack for creative storytelling. You have a desire to travel the world, and these kind of two beautiful passions kind of merged into one, ideally. Where do you think these two things come from? Is it childhood? Is it parents? Is it upbringing? Why do you want to tell stories?
I don't know. I just always have liked it. Maybe lots of like watching films was something I've always loved doing. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's just something inside me that I have, and I like to do it. And throughout my life, I've been just constantly looking for different ways to express it through art, photography, filmmaking, whatever it is. I don't know. It's just there. I don't know. This is all photography and all this stuff. It's just kind of a time capsule of everything, right? It's kind of the closest thing we'll have to time travel, especially the still frame. That's really cool. I love being able to look back on something that has already happened and watch it again. So maybe that, capturing life and people's stories and history, and there's something about that that's really interesting and exciting. Especially lately, I feel like life goes really fast and you kind of don't get to stop and enjoy it. So if I capture it well, I can go and relive that. But I don't know. It just is something there that I just love. And if I stop doing it for a while, I just come back to it.
Do you use it as a mode of self-expression, or are you always looking at it from the viewers? Through the viewer's eyes?
Totally. Yeah. I probably wouldn't say I'm a particularly confident person, relatively introverted. So, this is my way to put my personality out there, kind of what I like, how I feel about something. That's my way of doing it. And I hope that people can then put those two together or connect with it in a way which is nice. When people see that, when people come up to me and they're like, oh, this is what I felt, I'm like, okay, cool. Like that worked. That's just, it is, a way of.
And I'm sure you'll see, I mean, I don't know if you go back and look at videos you did 3, 4, even 5 years ago when you started, they're going to be different, right? And it's almost like your own timeline. When you look back at these things, go, oh, I was that kind of person. Most of the time you'll hate it, right? Like, oh shit, I was so bad back then. But at least like you can, it's almost like a visual diary.
Totally. Yeah. And I leave it all there. So I can sometimes go, oh, that's what I was feeling or how I creatively worked then. But yeah, 100%. And you can, like, if you look at a photo you took 5 years ago, for me, I instantly can know exactly how I felt when I did it, or a piece of work. I just straight away, I'm back there again. It is just my way of expressing life, I guess.
What about the travel side of things? And we all have different reasons to travel, or at least a lot of us have different reasons why we started traveling. Why is travel so interesting to you?
I just loved it as soon as I started. I basically, had a backpack, and I started photography on my phone, basically, where I just went my backpack and my phone with a mate. We just went traveling, and I just was like, this is freedom. Like, this is so cool. You just, every day it was like, wake up and it was like, let's do this. Let's, no plans really. You could just do it. Go see something new every day, go learn something new. If you wanted to, go, oh, this country I want to visit, you can do it, I don't know, it just worked. I loved it instantly. It was like, I never want to come home, but it's expensive. So you do have to come home, but I just really enjoyed it. I found it a little bit frustrating that people didn't travel that much. I think it's really important for your personal development in the world we live in as well. I think people are really ignorant more and more lately, and I think that's a result of people not understanding other cultures, other countries, and the rest of the world we live in. And I find it frustrating when people don't leave their home and their circle, because there is so much you can learn from the way other countries do things, different religions, different ways of life, that is all important for just the world and the way we all work together cohesively. But as a human being, becoming more understanding of something that maybe you don't agree with, those things, it just, I don't know. I wish it was compulsory to travel when you finish school, because I've learned so much, so much more than sitting in a classroom, by talking to strangers from a completely different country that follow a completely different religion, live a completely different life. They have a different, eat different food, live somewhere, all of that is so educational, and I wish more people did it. Maybe that's when I was traveling, I was just like, I had friends that just would go to the same 2 countries, and I was like, oh, just please go somewhere new, go somewhere that makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel kind of, you might be scared, because I promise you it will be so cool. You'll learn so much. And maybe that's why I got into this, because it was like, oh, if I can create this artwork that inspires people to go and do that, then in return, they'll learn something that maybe they didn't know in the process of going, oh, well, that looks pretty, I want to go to that beach. But along the way, they'll meet a whole bunch of different people that teach them something about themselves, about different cultures. I think it's really important. I wish more people did travel and kept traveling. As you get older, I feel like you get more stubborn and complacent. You sit in the same place. I don't want to do that. If I ever get to that point, I'm just going to make myself keep traveling, because you can never stop learning, right, from other cultures and different people. But yeah,
mate, your passion for travel is coming through, and I'm right with you. I have exactly the same thoughts and passions behind it, and that's why I've been traveling all my life. And I truly believe, without being, I usually come across quite pretentious when I talk about travel. Like, everyone should travel, and they're just fucking ignorant and stubborn, and they don't know what's out there in the world. And if we all could understand cultures a little bit better firsthand, probably wouldn't be a world full of hate and bigotry and polarization as much.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
would still have the tribal nature that we live in.
No, I totally think it would just be would have so much less conflict if people understood the other side. And I also, I like you talk about it being pretentious, but people buy stuff, travel doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
You just work really hard, and I'd never spent my money on anything else except camera gear, unfortunately now. But like, that's what I saved all my money for. I wouldn't buy anything else really. Clothes, all those sorts of things that you get tempted into buying. All my money was like, okay, this is going to my next trip, and you don't need to save that much. But if you are lucky enough to have that opportunity to save up a bit of money, I think it is your responsibility to travel. Not everyone is in that position, and that's, but if you do, I think
most people can these days. And we're not talking developed countries now, more than developing countries who may not have any funds in order to travel, but it might just be to the next town, right? It might just be going for walks and meeting new people.
Visit your neighbors.
Rather than just scrolling on your fucking phone. More people have phones nowadays than are able to travel. So I get really frustrated, and you mentioned it, is where people go to, well, in the UK, people will go to the south of Spain and just sit in a hotel by a pool, right? It's like, okay, I get it. You want some sun. I'm with you on that. But maybe make a journey of it along the way. Maybe meet the people of Spain or of that area and actually learn something about yourself as much as them, right? They'll teach you something. Not like education, but just interacting with people who are not from where you are. Like you said, it's a cliche when you say travel broadens the mind, but it's 100% true. You will never ever learn as much as you will through a book as you will traveling, or through Instagram or TikTok as you will traveling. And most of the times, we seem to forget it these days, most of the people you meet when you travel are really nice people.
Oh,
Like we just get so wrapped up
that's
in the
the
online
best
world.
part.
Like everyone's this and
Yeah.
hate this and hate this. Actually, most of the time, the humans around the world are just genuinely good people.
yeah. And yeah, even that, it's just a great way to make friends and like
Yeah.
build connections with people. Like at home, I feel like I don't social, mostly because I'm stuck at the desk editing all the time. But like you don't get as, I feel like you don't get as many opportunities to make friends. Whereas when you're traveling, everyone's there to connect with people. Everyone has that similar goal or ambition, and you just connect so easily with other people, and everyone's from a different country.
So I love being an expat in a location because every other expat there has come
Similar
for
reasons to
similar
you.
reasons, right?
Yeah.
Or more importantly, they've experienced very similar journeys, and they are in that place in the same way that you're in that place. So
The worst bit is that you make all these friends, and then you don't,
yeah.
because everyone lives in a different country, you don't see them for years and years. But yeah,
Do you feel like you talked about traveling for freedom initially. Was New Zealand a big part of that desire to get freedom? Do you feel like it stifled you a bit?
yeah, it is. We are far away. We're a small country. I love New Zealand. I'm very proud to be a Kiwi. I think we're the best country in the world.
Oh, my goodness.
yeah,
I'd probably vote for that as well.
It's a beautiful place, but it is small, and it is like you can get stuck if you don't, take opportunities to get up. It's really expensive to leave because we're far away.
Yeah.
Flights
Forgot about
anywhere
that.
are just ridiculous. But I love it. I love to go home, and I'm always like, you get home and you just kind of breathe a sigh of relief. You're like, oh yeah, it is nice here. But at the same time, it's small, it's far away. The industry is small as well. So you have to, you'll hit different ceilings, and yeah, it is good to get out and experience other things sometimes. But yeah, if you haven't been to New Zealand, you got to go.
It is, yeah, incredible place. And the people are fantastic. I'm not just saying that because you sat here, but I haven't been back for a while, but this is at the top of my list for sure. That and the likes of Italy.
Yeah. I feel like in when we had the pandemic as well, I hadn't really experienced it properly. And because we couldn't travel overseas, I was like, well, let's see this, let's explore my home. And I just learned a whole lot more about it. I saw a whole part of New Zealand that I didn't even know existed, and kind of fell in love with it a bit more and appreciate it more now. Because I needed to, I was wanting to improve my craft, and in doing that, I just I explored every corner I could, and I was like, oh, we're really lucky. This is a beautiful place. Yeah. I love home.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a home bud myself now, but tell us more about, I'm interested to kind of get into from someone who doesn't necessarily work with big brands as much as someone like you. I want to kind of dive into the whys and the hows, and certainly for people watching who want to kind of make a career out of photography, filmmaking. Talk to me about kind of some working with big brands, like what you've learned with working with someone like Mercedes-Benz. Do you feel like there's always a compromise that you have to give with these people?
100%. That is probably one of the more challenging parts of working for a client, is it's someone else's vision. And you have to kind of put enough of I was talking before about how I put my soul into everything. You can't put too much of your soul into it, because when
They
gets
don't want your soul.
changed and stuff, it's like, oh, it's like, is that mine anymore?
Right.
It's finding a balance between understanding what they want and their product, and giving enough of what you have, and merging those things together to create something.
So give us a run through of like a project, just an average kind of run through how it starts, what the concept is like, then how it kind of progresses.
Just an email usually going, okay, well, this is maybe an idea we have. Sometimes there is no idea. It's like, we need to make a video. That's your job. And I'm like, okay, let me get back to, a bunch of ideas. Sometimes I know exactly what they want, bigger companies especially have done this a lot before. And can be easier to work for, I've noticed, because they just have a vision, they have their brand, they know how it works, and they just need your talent to bring enough of something new, but at the same time, they know what they want, which is actually really easy to work for. When someone knows what they want, it's actually really good. Yeah, when people don't know what they want, or they say they don't know what they want, and then you make something for them, and all of a sudden there's all
like,
of
no,
these
I don't want
notes.
that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, what? Yeah.
It's like asking for a budget, and they go, "Oh, we don't have a budget." You tell us,
Yeah.
and then you do
tell them
something.
and
Oh
they
no,
go,
that's too expensive.
yeah. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've worked with a variety of clients, some big brands, small brands. I don't really look at the scale of the brand. It's just more like, does that align with what I create? I don't want to work with people that, I don't want to create something for someone that doesn't fit with what I do, because I feel like I'm not offering the right service.
So if I'm a brand and I'm wanting to like make me a video, right? What are the key values that would have to align with you?
Well, it's a sense of like, with what I do, is just that sense of adventure. And
okay,
I do always like to keep it within the travel space, because that's what I love and do. So I can be passionate about it. Being like nice as well. Like, you kind of talk to clients and some of them are just like really cold, and it's like, I just don't think this is going to work. But some people you just click.
Huge, right?
Yeah. It's, and I don't know, coming from New Zealand, everyone's your best mate. And so when you get an email that's like really long and professional, I'm like, oh, like, just say hi, And I always do that as well. When I jump on a call, I'm like, how's it going? Kind of just assume that we're mates. And I feel like that's a better place to work in. If everyone's too corporate, too professional, I'm like, oh, that's not me. That's not how I work, like, yeah, just that's a New Zealand thing.
So travel, nice. That's it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even that fussy about the budget really. Like I'll take anything if it fits and I feel like it'll be enjoyable to make, And
how do you see that kind of, I guess influence is the right word, but that kind of the way of doing business with influencers or beginner photographers, filmmakers who want to get the work, but don't necessarily feel like they want to charge for it. And so they're more appealing to brands, and they do these free collabs, right? Good or bad, or somewhere in between?
I don't know. It is hard. I've been on both sides of it. Like I did plenty of free work when I was starting out, because you have to, and it's a great way to build your portfolio. At the same time, it kind of disrupts the industry a little bit. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, because it is, I don't like, as much as this is a competitive industry, I think it's important that everyone has their shot at doing this. There are a lot of people who are really small, who are incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And whatever opportunity they need to take to grow and to learn, then you get defensive, right? Like you're like, oh, this is my space, but it's not. We're all sharing this. Like you just kind of have to. Yeah, that is a tricky one.
But again, I think people get wrapped up in the online side of it, and they think, oh, well, you're taking from me, and you're taking from me, and I can't get. But actually, when you get out there and you actually just start doing these, and you've seen these people and working with these brands and traveling the world, there's more than enough to go around for everyone.
Absolutely, and also it's good to work with other people. Like if you just, a lot of people are really competitive, and it's like sometimes I'm like, I'm not here to steal your work. I just want to work with people and like collaborate, because we'll learn from each other, right? And
I think they're thinking about it the wrong way as well. Like there should be no competition. Everyone is themselves. An artist is essentially like the one and only, right? There's only one Cam Staples, right? It's like,
singular.
Why are you being competitive?
Yeah, exactly. And if you are competitive and then you are finding that what you're making is similar to others, then maybe that's what you need to work on, is standing up more and making it more true to yourself. And maybe that answers one of your questions, is it's like, being unique to who you are, because there is no one can replicate that, right? Like your artistic vision, how you feel, is singular to your own experience. So if you can create stuff that reflects that, no one else can copy it, right? No 100%. One else can.
Love it. Do you think AI is going to have an effect on that? Have you seen any, from someone who's out there all the time doing jobs and experiencing the world through a filmmaker's eyes, a photographer's eyes, do you see AI has had any impact on commercial work or anything like that yet?
I think it does with like technical sides of things, which a lot of people work in a technical industry where it's about workload and skills, and that stuff can be, I think, replicated, unfortunately. I think right now it's not too disruptive. It is definitely. I've met people who have lost their jobs from AI, but it's definitely not to be like, it can easily be a problem down the line. I think it's to just be like, no, it's going to be fine, is like I don't know, like, have you seen how much the world has changed in the last 10 years? Like, how do you know what this is going to do? Like, yeah, this technology works like this now, but who knows how clever it's going to be? I don't think, and what I was just saying, I don't think it could ever replicate the human soul. But so always, like with what I do, it's like about being true to yourself. No technology can replicate that. No person can replicate what you do and what comes from your soul. So if you always keep that at the forefront, then maybe that you'll be safe. But I don't know. Who knows what technology is going to do? Like,
well, and all of the other things, all of the other values that you've talked about as a person, right? Being kind, being, good with communication, having integrity. People want that. People wanting to, whether AI is there or not, people want to be, and I think as photographers talk about this all the time, I don't know about filmmaking as much, but photographers definitely, their authenticity you talk about will be more valuable than ever, because people will still want an authentic human photographer or the photographer's work. They want to see a photo that's being taken by a human. That's only going to make it more and more valuable as AI has a bigger impact. But I don't know.
Yeah,
no one knows.
And this is just another hurdle. Like, anyone who's worked in this industry for much longer than me will know that this, just every couple of years there's a new obstacle that's thrown at you, and if you can adapt to it, or you can put your head in the sand and be like, oh, I don't like how this is changing, I can't do this, goodbye. Like, you'll be stuck there forever. But if you can adapt and change and learn how to either overcome or use this technology to your advantage, then I think you'll be fine.
Survival of the fittest, isn't it?
Exactly. And it will teach you things. Like, you'll learn from that. AI is going to be a big hurdle. But
and just like the large language models, the chat GPTs and all, I mean, it's every day there's a new advancement, right? Or something new that there's just come out I haven't known. But like, how can I use that? I mean, maybe the long professional emails you get
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I kind of just wish AI would just answer my emails for me, and I can spend more time taking photos.
Not far away.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I need them to do, and like my washing and stuff. But yeah, right now it's.
But maybe those emails that you don't like from brands are coming from AI.
Yeah, sometimes
because they're not personal. Maybe I don't know.
There's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely out there more than people think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I meet people every day who are like, yeah, I wrote this completely with ChatGPT. I'm like, damn, like, really? Like, what? Why? Do you not enjoy the process?
But I'll put it through ChatGPT to just like correct or make it sound whatever tone I want. But yeah, I mean, we use it all the time. It's fucking great. As long as it's still
if it's freeing up space for your creative capacity, that's fine. If you're using it to replace a creative skill, I kind of just wonder why. Like, do you enjoy this or not? Like, I don't do this to make money. I do it because I like doing it. So replacing it with a robot I'm like, okay, well, what? That sounds boring. Like,
yeah,
why?
Yeah. Well, we're headed that way.
Yep.
If you had to live without one of the following, which one would it be? Video or photo?
My children. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think I love taking photos, but there's so many different. Creating video and films has so many different avenues, and so maybe. Oh, that's hard. I don't know. It depends. It depends what day it is. I don't know. I have different moods. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to edit another video. And then some days I'm like, this is great. I love this. So depends on the day of the week, I think.
Okay, let me ask you a different question then. Maybe you can answer this one. Would you rather have fingers as long as your legs or legs as short as your fingers?
Legs are short. Hold on. Legs as short as my fingers.
So you walking around like this, right, Cam?
Yeah.
And then your normal torso and head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or really long fingers. That would be quite hard to do stuff with fingers.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do.
I feel like probably the legs.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. No, probably the legs, I reckon.
Yeah.
Fingers, that would just get in the way. You'd knock stuff over all the time.
You wouldn't be able to do photography and video.
Yeah, exactly. But then you can't walk really. Or you can walk, but
you
wouldn't be very fast. So
you'd collapse.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with the fingers. No,
Oh.
sorry. Legs
Well,
as short as
let's
fingers.
hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Even in the AI.
Yeah. What
future,
do most people say to that?
I'd never asked anyone that question
cool.
before.
Answer in the comments.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask the audience. Mate, it's been so great to have you. Thanks for finally, not finally, we've been missing, like passing ships in the night, or missing each other travel wise.
Yeah. And that is the nature of this. I feel like I have lots of friends and people I know through the internet that you just, you'll keep in touch with all the time, and you'll meet 2 years down the road, which is cool.
Hopefully we'll do a job together one day.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. And
what does the future look like for you over the next 1 to 5 years, maybe?
I don't know. Just hope it keeps growing. Like, I don't want to know. Like, I just hope I'm doing something different. Like, I don't want to be in the same place now that I am. I just, whatever. No plan. Like, I just want something new to come, new opportunities, whatever, to learn something new. Or
do you ever get, like, not worried, but do you ever think about legacy, like what, body of work that you want to leave behind? Does that play into your mindset?
100%. That kind of motivates me a little bit. All the time I'm kind of like, what am I doing? Where is this going? So yeah, at the moment, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm just trying to develop skills, right? Build those skills so that one day I can make something that is maybe does leave a legacy, and I'm capable of doing it. Like and it's good, and I'm proud of it. But right now I'm just building as much as I can, and learning from all these experiences, learning from other people, other creatives, what they're doing differently. But I do think about that a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good. Some people disagree with the idea of a legacy, but I think, often many people's legacies are their children, right? But, in an artistic sense, I think it helps with progression, evolution, motivation, and just like exactly how you described, just wanting to get up and go out and do something different or do something better, or continuously iterating on what you've done prior.
Yeah. And I mean, like right now, even just in a small scale, if someone sees something that I do and it inspires them to maybe go somewhere they weren't going to go before, or try something new, then that's cool. That's leaving the world a better place than you found it, right? Like if you could affect one person to pick up a camera or go to a country or go and be uncomfortable somewhere, then like that's really cool. And that does happen. Like I get messages of people like, oh, I went here because of this video.
Oh, that's
and I'm
great.
like, cool.
Love it.
Like, yeah, that's stoked. Like, yeah, people kind of like, oh, I didn't know like if it was safe or had the time of my life now, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. That's a tick for me, satisfied.
Cool, man. What is one thing that you would like to leave with the audience after today's conversation? What do you think there's something that you feel people should know about?
Just make stuff. Stop thinking about it. Stop talking about it. Like, stop wondering what camera you need to buy or what. Just go do it. Like, pick up your phone and go and make stuff. Like, whatever it is, just express yourself, put it out there. Even if you don't want to be an artist, like, create something, express what's inside of you. I don't know. And if you are an artist, like, stop sitting around going, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do this yet. Doesn't matter. Like, just make stuff. You will get better. You only get better by doing this, the more and more, and post it, put it out there, because it doesn't matter if it's good or not. It's true to what you are, and it will grow, and something will come from it, but nothing will come from doing nothing, right? Like, so yeah, go make art. Yes.
Maze, congratulations on all of the success you've had so far, and I'm really excited to see what comes from you over the next few years. I know it's going to be epic. So hopefully we'll get you back on, but don't be a stranger. When you're in Bali, come say hi.
Yeah, it is. I do like the spot. So yeah, definitely back. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Wrap.
So the fingers and legs is normally on dicks.
Yeah, so
Fingers for finger for
we
dick.
did this the other day. We did nipples for dick, or dick for nipples.
Right.
I was like, please don't ask me that on the internet.
I heard this.
I was like, where's this going?
What are you gonna say?
There is. I think I heard it on Jimmy Carr somewhere. I think one of
Yeah.
his audience members asked him that. I was like, oh, that's a brilliant question.
I'm a thirst trap, by the way.
What is that?
It's like women being skimpy on the internet. So I was kind of like, oh, but
Oh,
maybe I don't want to. Yeah,
thirst.
just
No, that's
cut that
good.
out. I was like, oh,
That's
God.
going in the trailer. Before she
Um,
died.
Yeah, she's not dead yet. So I don't think. But no, I don't know if we can put that in. Yeah.